For Baylor Bear Nation, it was quite the battle, but at the end of the day, the Baylor Bears fall in overtime 30-23 to the Oklahoma Sooners, their third consecutive Big 12 championship this year, and it looks like Oklahoma is primed to go into the college football playoff.
Absolutely, Dusty. I think today was a little bit surprising for me. I think OU really did outplay the Baylor Bears. I think Baylor really couldn't get anything going on offense today. OU's defense was playing really well. I think Baylor, and I don't want to trash Baylor, but I think they kind of got lucky with a few long passes today, and they were able to stay in the game and go to overtime. OU's defense looks tough, though, against number 7 team in the nation. That was a tough game for them. I think Oklahoma has a solid, performance going into maybe getting into the college football playoff today.
When you look at what happened to Baylor, of course, Charlie Brewer, their starting quarterback, goes out in the second quarter. They had 2 backup quarterbacks come into the game. It first started with Bohannon, who helped lead the comeback. Actually, Baylor had a 13-10 lead going into the half, and then once again, it was a practice squad quarterback, Jacob Zeno. We've never heard of Jacob Zeno before, a true freshman, and Zeno goes out, throws an 81-yard dart for a touchdown to Tristan Ebner, but then it was OU to finish the job.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about those quarterbacks coming in. I think OU wasn't really prepared to face those 2 quarterbacks. That's why they were able to get away with some plays, but they did figure them out late in the game. In overtime, they scored the rushing touchdown, and I mean, OU just had the attitude. They were ready to go, and I could just tell they were going to put it away right there. Their crowd was all behind them. They were ready to go. Baylor did not have an answer on their possession.
Baylor still has a chance to go to either the Sugar Bowl, maybe even one of the other New Year's Six Bowls, and if not, they'll end up in the Alamo Bowl as well. But regardless, this was quite the showing for a Baylor team that had a battle time and time again, and losing your starting quarterback and still staying alive and forcing this into overtime. Quite the impressive game for Baylor, to say the least.
Absolutely, Dusty. I mean, Baylor's going to get a good bowl, whatever. I'm not sure how they're naming each bowl this year, what's going to be the playoff bowls, but they'll get, a Sugar Bowl, they'll get a Cotton Bowl, something like that, because they did have an excellent season. The only team they lost to this year was OU, and they beat everybody else. So Baylor's going to get a good bowl, but now, looking at Oklahoma, they have a great chance to get into the playoff. Depending on what happens in that Georgia-LSU game, that's what we're going to be watching. I mean, we're going to be watching that one closely. Georgia loses, I think OU's up there. I think they have a better chance of getting that 4th spot. LSU loses, they go down to 4. Georgia's going to go to 3 probably, and OU's just going to fall out. But honestly, I think LSU's playing some good football right now. I think they take that win against Georgia, and Oklahoma gets in with a big win today.
We will find out what happens on Sunday as well. That's when the college football playoff rankings will be finalized, and then, of course, we will see if OU indeed makes it until then. But we got some big games coming up later tonight. We'll also have the highlights for you tonight at 10 from this game here at AT&T Stadium. Reporting here at AT&T Stadium for BigCountryHomepage.com Sports, on behalf of Max Preston, I'm Dusty Baker.